Hello, welcome everybody to our second podcast from BAME OT UK, a Let's Talk series. This is episode 2, and as we are still celebrating the 33rd Black History Month, October 2020, we thought it would be advantageous to discuss with Black male occupational therapists, a rarity in the profession, by the way, about their experiences of the profession. Before we start our conversation, I thought I would share some statistics from NHS England's Chief Allied Health Officers blog 2020. It states, AHPs make up the third largest clinical workforce in health and care, but have one of the lowest percentages of workers from the global majority populations at 12.2%, which is below the UK population average of 13.9% and significantly below the NHS workforce average of 19.9%. When considering workers from the global majority populations, representation in bandings of 8A and above, this figure drops well below 10%. So Sir Simon Stevens, outgoing CEO of NHS England, has made a firm commitment that the NHS will lead on this as a model employer. Importantly, what we do know is that there is significant variation with regards to global majority populations representation across the 14 AHP professions, and this also differs regionally too. Suzanne Rastrick, the Chief Allied Officer, states diversity of our AHP workforce has frankly been insufficient, and she says she does not expect forgiveness for this. She goes on to assure that her team and her are 100% committed to addressing this and changing it. So that is the scene setting for your talk today. Welcome everybody, welcome guys, and we are excited to have this podcast for BAME OT UK and within Black History Month. Before I start, could I ask each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us your ethnicity or heritage background? I'll just go round as I see you on my video panel. So I've got Chike first.
Yep. Hi everyone. Yeah, my name's Chike Konji. I'm a Band 6 occupational therapist, and my heritage is half Nigerian, half Zimbabwean, but I'm a British UK citizen.
The next person I've got is Oliver.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, my name's Oliver. I'm obviously an occupational therapist as well, and I was sure. What did you ask me again? It will slip my mind.
Oliver, can you tell me your name and your ethnicity, background, or heritage?
Yes. So I'm. This is probably why it was so complicated. So, my dad is Jamaican. My mum's mixed race, so she's half white British and half Nigerian. But then my dad's also got some Bangladeshi in him. It's all a bit mad. But I'm a bit of everything.
Thank you. And so you have a bit of Bangladeshi, and I'm Bangladeshi, so we have some connection there. Yeah. Kwaku, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Kwaku Ajiman. I am a Band 6 occupational therapist, and I am Ghanaian. I've been living most of my life in the UK, but I still class myself as a Ghanaian.
Thank you, Kwaku. And Valentine, over to you.
Hi, I'm Valentine Muchairo. I am Black African, but if we're going to get technical, I was born in Zimbabwe, but my mom is from Zambia, so a bit of mixed heritage there, but yeah, I think I'm Zimbabwean fully.
Thank you very much, Valentine. And Andre, you joined us, but you're moving around a lot. What's going on?
I joined late, and I'm trying to set myself up a bit. I didn't think I was going to make it. Am I too late?
No, we're just started. Could you tell us your full name and your heritage background?
Okay, yeah. My name's Andre Ansah. I am half from a small island in the Caribbean called St. Kitts, and half Ghanaian.
Thank you for that, guys. And my name is Mushrat Ahmed Landiyu, but I like to be called Mish. And my heritage background is Asian, British, and Bangladeshi. So I'm going to start off with my first question. And again, I'll go around and ask you each the question. The first question is, how did you find out about occupational therapy? Shall we start with Valentine?
Hi, so I've got poor connection, so I might lag if I do. I studied sport and exercise science at Coventry. At the time, I only had heard of occupational health. So when it came to occupational therapy, I kind of merged the two together, but I had poor understanding of it. So I had a clinical practice placement just at a hospital. And the setting was a a stroke community setting, and I was busy around different other healthcare professionals, speech and language physios. But then I came across OTs, and I saw the group session that they were running. I was just enamored with what they were doing. I thought it was really cool, creative, out the box thinking, and it led me to want to research the profession and find out a bit more information. And the one thing that kept coming up was the Kawa model, and I kept seeing Michael Iwama. So I thought, okay, this is a dude OT. So, and I love his ideas of the Kawa model. OT seems like a nice fit. So little did I know that it was, I limited information on what the profession was, the demographics within it. So I was in for a shell shock when I first started uni. So
thank you. That was an interesting segue into occupational therapy, from sports to health to occupational therapy. Yeah, interesting. And then you also kind of quickly latched onto that Kawa model as well, which is also quite unique because you don't hear about that first. You hear about all the other models first. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oliver, same question to you. How did you find out about occupational therapy?
All right, so I come from quite a creative background. So when I was young, I used to go to Brit school, and I used to do music. I used to do singing and things like that. When I left school, I kind of wasn't sure what I wanted to do because music was kind of all that I knew, and I knew that I didn't want to become like a music teacher or anything like that because I didn't have a passion for that. So I needed to get into something. So I started. First of all, I started working in a library for a little while, but I quickly realised that I was a bit boring and I wanted something a little bit more exciting. But my passion always was kind of to work with young people, being that I was young myself, but I always felt like I had something to give in terms of working with young people. So when I was about 21, I was just like searching for jobs. And I went on the NHS website. I don't even know why I went on the NHS website, but I just went on there to look, and I saw that they were looking for like a children's OT technical instructor, it was called at the time. And I just thought, I didn't know what occupational therapy was, but I thought, you know what, like, let me just try and give it a go. Because I knew it would be working with children. So I applied for the job at the time and I didn't get it. And I was like, wow, okay. Like kept on searching. Then the same job came up again about 6 months later. But this time I thought, let me try and do a bit more preparation for it, because obviously I hadn't heard of OT, and some of the questions that they were asking me at the time, I didn't even know what they were talking about. So my mum, she works in like safeguarding at the time, and she was able to get me to do like a day working, just some job experience with an OT just for a day. And then I done that, and obviously when I went back for the same interview, I was a lot more informed in terms of what I was able to say. And then from there, obviously at that point I got the job. I was doing the job for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got to a point where, you know, I needed to make a little bit more money, and I wanted to achieve a bit more in my life. And when you're an OT, especially when you're an OT assistant, at some point you get to a place where you're like, do you know what? Like, I think I can do what you guys are doing. The only thing is that I didn't have, firstly, the piece of paper, yeah, because that's important. You need that piece of paper, but also I didn't have the actual knowledge and the true understanding of what I was doing. Do you see what I mean? So that's when I actually it was a speech and language therapy lead at the time. It was a black lady. She come to me and she was like, why don't you do it? And I was like, I always didn't see myself as really as an academic person. I was more of a practical person. So the thought of sort of going to uni was a little bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. But because they said that they were going to support me through it in terms of like financially and stuff, I kind of had nothing else to lose. Do you see what I mean? So I just jumped on. 4 years later, completed the course. And now I'm here. So yeah, bit of a journey, but I'm here now.
That's a great story, actually. That, you know why it's inspiring? Because you thought, it's not for me, I shouldn't belong there. But you've pushed yourself to belong there, and everybody belongs in education. So it's good to hear you persevered and came into it. And thankfully, you are now a member of the occupational therapy profession. Thank you for that story. A little bit of inspiration there. Thank you. Chike, can we go to you, please? Same question.
Yeah, so how I found out about OT, I started really when I was kind of in college. I did sport and exercise science, similar to Valentine. And then through there, I went into university and I've done a degree in rehabilitation. But following that degree, in terms of kind of job satisfaction or career progression, I wanted to kind of progress further. So I was working in the gym, I was working for a bit with children, doing coaching, and I was also working as a therapy assistant in the community. And then whilst I was in the community, that's when I came across an occupational therapist, one of my colleagues, and I kind of saw the work that she did and how she kind of carried the role of an OT, and just the amount of things you can do in the community as an OT in terms of equipment, in terms of kind of arranging kind of an individual's pathway and just kind of liaising with other healthcare professionals. I thought the OT role in the community was so vital and so crucial in that transitional stage from hospital back home. And then my mum and dad, they're both social workers as well. So I was close to doing social work. But my mum, one of her colleagues is a social worker working in the council. So I had the opportunity to shadow her. And again, that just kind of made that decision that, yeah, OT is something that I want to get into. So then I did my degree in OT, and then, yeah, here I am as an occupational therapist. Yeah.
Thank you. And welcome as an occupational therapist. That's lovely. And it's interesting. So you had some sort of connection to the system already through your parents being in social services. Did you say they're social workers?
Social workers, both of them, my mum and dad, yeah.
Wow. So you had a good kind of grounding already from a family level, really.
Yeah, because my sister as well, she's a doctor, and my other sister is a social worker. So everyone in my family are healthcare workers. So I had no pressure. I was close to being a social worker, but I just saw that there was so much paperwork. They're always in the media for not the right stuff all the time. So I just thought with OT, and again, I was close to doing physio as well. But I think when I was looking at the curriculum and modules, physios, there was a lot of tests and stuff. And I'm more of a practical learner, and I like doing coursework, and I like having time to kind of do my work, rather than when it comes to the test, I always kind of freeze and have an anxiety panic and kind of don't do as well. So I just thought OT, especially with the versatility, which we'll get into about OT, was the better choice.
Okay, so there's something else you're bringing into the equation here then. It was about the course as well and how that fitted into you as a learner as well. So you didn't want to be examined, you wanted to have the other option of doing coursework as well to be successful.
Yeah, because I think in school, I think I learned it from reflecting in my days at school. When it came to tests, no matter how hard I studied or prepared for the test, when it came to it, I just had a mad anxiety attack. So I just thought the same thing will happen, deja vu, if I do the physio course, because there's a lot more tests involved during the module. So I just thought, yeah, OT. And again, even the setting I work in, community physical rehab, I work closely with the physiotherapist. And because of my kind of rehab and exercise background, I just thought being able to blend in equipment, assistive technology, as well as OT input was, very good.
Oh, well, lots of intersectionality between your skills, your also education, needs or wants, and your desires within what you wanted to do as a future profession. Thank you for that. That was really interesting. I'm enjoying this. Wow. Now let's go to Andre. How did you find out about occupational therapy?
Hi guys. Well, my story is not as interesting as their one, really. I kind of just went into it, to be honest. I'd done a previous degree in criminology, and after finishing that degree in criminology, I think I worked for maybe a year in different types of roles, and I just wasn't. I hated them really. And then one day, I think I was just, and I was just looking at alternatives. I think I just wanted to go back to uni. I think I just liked the uni, and then I stumbled across this course, and I realised it was fully funded as well at that time. And I was like, this looks interesting, and I just applied for it, and I literally stumbled into the world of occupational therapy. There's no bigger story than that, really. And since then, I've just progressed up the ranks, really. It's as simple as that on my side. There isn't any kind of inspirational story behind it. I was running away from the real world.
And then you landed in the real world of occupational therapy. Andre, I was just going to ask you one thing, because you're not a clinician anymore, are you? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I am an occupational therapist, but I've gone into senior management. So I am an operations manager now. So I work for a local authority, and I oversee 5 services. So they include a reablement service. They include a hospital social work team, a couple care homes, day services, and a major adaptations team as well. So yeah, I've just got like a wide brief underneath me. So I basically manage the managers, you might as well say. So I'm more at strategic level now. But my role before was as an occupational therapy manager. So I used to manage the major adaptations service, and then I moved into this role. It's more strategic. So I still got my OT hat on, but I manage other professions now. So that's quite an interesting dynamic.
So that's like a career progression kind of pathway. So are you and sorry if you think this is too personal, you don't have to answer it, but are you in a band 8 position?
No, I'd probably be the equivalent of a band 9, because I'm in the local authority there. So it'll be So I think it's the equivalent of if you're looking at NHS engine, I think it's a level 9. Yeah.
Thank you. It's good to hear that, because it's good to see that. So it's good you could share that with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
very, very inspirational. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kwaku, over to you. I left you last because we see you and hear you too much. Want to hear other people?
No, I'm trying to be like Andre. Trying to get to those level 9 levels. That's a nice level to be at, Andre. But it's good though. It's good to see people in that position, because that means that it's possible for us to be in that position as well. I always admire that. But yeah, no, I also studied sports science at university as my first degree. I always had an interest in wanting to work with team sports and basically make people better at what they do. That was my ideal when I studied sports science. So when I came out of university, it was very difficult to find a role at that time, at that age as well, that was paid, because you had to do a lot of internships, and I was just like, I didn't go to university for 3 years to not get paid. Only get paid travel expenses. So I just went into work into a gym. I worked there for a little while, and then my friend from college, when we studied sports studies in college, reached out to me, and he was working as a sports technician in the learning disabilities or intellectual disability award, and also in the mental health rehab ward. And he said he was leaving to become a paramedic, and they were looking for someone to replace him. I was like, oh, that's quite interesting job. It was close to my house. So I was thinking I could just roll out of bed and be there as well. So I took advantage of that. I got there and I started doing the job, and it was just amazing. It was a fantastic job. It was actually on the same line as helping people to become a little bit better, but in a completely, not in obviously like a professional sports arena. So it just really changed my mind. It made me, and I did that quite early on as well. I think I was about 22. So that really helped me grow as a person as well. So when I was there, I was supervised by an occupational therapist. I was working alongside nurses, psychologists, in the wide MDT. And again, I think someone said it earlier. You sort of hit a glass ceiling when you're a band 4 or band 3, band 4. There's nowhere else to go. So I'm looking around thinking, I need some more money. I need to get myself a house. I need to make some more money somehow. And then luckily they were funding the courses. I was thinking, I want to do a master's so I can get the OT quickly. But then I thought about it. The masters, they weren't going to fund me to do that. So I was like, this is going to be a hard slog. You have to go 4 years, 4 years hard slog. But my partner was very supportive at the time. We just had our first child as well. Actually, no. That was the second child as well at that time. So I was thinking to myself, this might be a bit tricky if I go to university for 4 years. It's quite tough. But luckily I was supported at work, and I had really good occupational therapists around me, really, really good OTs. They really, really encouraged me to go for the course, because I suppose they could see the qualities I could bring to the profession. Again, I didn't really see any like occupational therapist around. I didn't really see anyone around, but in my mind, I had a one-track mind at that time. I just wanted to get the course, get it done, and progress up. And luckily, I went to university, and then I really enjoyed my time at university. I really enjoyed the course. I learned quite a lot, and I'm still learning now, and I'm an occupational therapist now, so I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, there's lots in there, isn't there? The thing about when you get jobs, one of the biggest things is location. Do I have to travel very far? You kind of mentioned that straight away. And obviously about career progression, that's what kind of triggered you into starting to look at maybe a professional course that will get you a job with a better career progression, really, than where you were, and more money as well, which is very important as well. So there are lots of things in there that kind of I recognize, and a lot of students say the same things as well when we talk about their first year when they come in, what made you come into occupational therapy? There's similar things they talk about as well.
But you know the thing, obviously, like now thinking back, now I'm like working and I'm obviously earning money and looking after my family. Actually, you know, NHS doesn't pay that great. You know, we have to be, the pay that you get in NHS is not going to really, you know, build you massive houses and buy you nice cars and, you know, invest in businesses or whatever you want to do. It's not that big. But actually, what I found out when I did become like qualified and then moved up the band, it comes with a certain level of self-esteem and self-worth as well. At the same time, yeah, money is good because you need to look after your family and look after yourself. But at the same time, you need to feel happy where you are in life as well at the same time. So yeah, it was about money at the beginning, but now it's more like actually I'm making progress in myself and I feel happy and I feel settled that I'm happy enough to look after my family, and that's all that matters really.
Yeah, there's a shift. Life is dynamic and we always change what we think about it, what we want to do about it, and it's all about context, isn't it? So as much as the NHS doesn't pay a lot of money, and same as education, I guess, where I am, there's something that makes us stay. Is something about that job satisfaction and that vision that we could be going somewhere else with it, you know, and that it keeps us going. But yes, money is not great.